ಜಯ ರಾಧಾ ಮಾಧವ ಕುಂಜ ವಿಹಾರಿ ಜಯ ರಾಧಾ ಮಾಧವ ಕುಂಜ ವಿಹಾರಿ ವಲ್ಲಭ ಗಿರಿವನಧಾರಿ ಗೋಪಿಜನ ವಲ್ಲಭ ಗಿರಿವನಧಾರಿ ಯಶೋದಾನಂದನ ಬ್ರಜ ಜನರಂಜನ ಯಶೋದಾನಂದನ ಬ್ರಜ ಜನರಂಜನ ಯಮುನಾ ತೀರ Hare Krishna Prabhupada, Brahma Supra Rajacharya, Ashtadhara Sadasri Shrimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Santara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Oh, Premanandari. Is it on over there? Yeah, everything's on. If we don't work, then we don't need it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 71. The Lord travels to Indraprastha. Text number 1 and 2. Sri Shukavacha Ityudiritam Akhanya Ityudiritam Akhanya Devashe Udavo Bravit Devashe Udavo Bravit Sabhyanam Matam Agyaya Sabhyanam Matam Agyaya Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Sri Shukavacha Ityudiritam Akhanya Devashe Udavo Bravit Sabhyanam Matam Agyaya Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Ityudiritam Akhanya Devashe Udavo Bravit Sabhyanam Matam Agyaya Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Sri Shukavacha Ityudiritam Akhanya Devashe Udavo Bravit Sabhyanam Matam Agyaya Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Sri Shukavacha Iti Udiritam Akraya Devasya Udavo Bravit Sabhyanam Matam Agnaya Krishnasya Cha Mahamati Krishna Shukavacha. Shukadev Goswami said, Iti, thus, Udiritam, that which was stated. Akanya, hearing. Devarishe, by Narada, the sage of the demigods. Uddhava, Abravit, spoke. Sabhyana, of the members of the royal assembly. Matam, the opinion. Agyaya, understanding. Krishnasya, of Lord Krishna. Cha, and Mahamati, great-minded. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, having thus heard the statements of Devashi Narada and understanding the opinions of both the assembly and Lord Krishna, the great-minded Uddhava began to speak. Can you hear in the back there? Text 2. Sri Uddhava Vacha Yat Uktam Rishina Deva Sachivyam Yakshatasvaya Kayam Paitri Sores Yasya Rakshacha Saranaishinam. Sri Uddhava said, O Lord, as the sage advised, you should help your cousin fulfill his plan for performing the Rajasuya sacrifice. And you should also protect the kings who are begging for your shelter. Purport. Devashi Narada wanted Lord Krishna to go to Indraprastha and help his cousin Yudhishthira perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. At the same time, the members of the royal assembly strongly desired that he defeat Jarasandha and rescue the king he was holding prisoner. The great-minded Uddhava could understand that Lord Krishna desired to do both things, and thus he intelligently advised how both these purposes could be simultaneously accomplished. Om Jnana Timrandasya Kananjana Slakaya Shaksumne Kamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaptane Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Vasita Desha Tarine. Well, the beauty of the Varnashram system, which is actually real culture, and is that every division of society has a particular role to play. And the Brahmanas, the role of the Brahmanas are pivotal in upholding society, because they are the brain. As described in Shastra, the Brahmanas are like the brain of the human body. The Kshatriya, the arms, the Vaishya, the stomach, and the Sudra, the legs. You require every part of the body. You cannot say, I'll do without the arms, or I do it without the legs. You can survive, but you'll be very much inconvenienced by it. Of course, most important is the brain. Because if the brain is not functioning, then you may have a strong arms, strong legs, good digestion in the stomach, you're still like a vegetable. No brain. In fact, if you have strong arms, strong legs, strong stomach, you can become very troublesome to others without brain. Start causing trouble to others. So brain is very important. And the Brahmanas play a very important role in the Varnashram system. Not only do they study the Shastra, they know different aspects of the Shastra, they teach it, they provide astrological readings to the householders, and sometimes they're also expert in Ayurveda, how to keep the body healthy. All different aspects of knowledge they're familiar with. And of course, the very qualified Brahmanas, they give advice to kings. They give counsel to the kings. And here is a very nice example of how the two work so nicely together. Although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He's omniscient, and He's Sri Kalagyan. He knows past, present, and future. Yet, to show an example, He was seeking the counsel of Uddhava. He was subsequently in a dilemma. The Narada Muni came to invite him to to attend the Rajasuya sacrifice to be performed by his cousin Maharaj Yudhishthira. This is a very big yajna where Maharaj Yudhishthira is going to be crowned as the emperor of the world. So being a great devotee of Krishna, obviously he wanted Krishna to be present in that event. And not only him, but many of the exalted demigods, kings, they're all going there, mainly just to see him. Understanding that Krishna will be there, so they all came there to see him. Just imagine, if you are, let's say you're a disciple of either Japaka Maharaj or Damarita Maharaj, and you heard that he's coming, and you may be traveling a few hundred kilometers, just to come to see him. How disappointed you'll be when you come and then he suddenly decided not to come. He changed his plan. You'll be very disappointed. And Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. Devotees are very dear to him. And he's very eager to please the devotees. So he was wanting to go, but at the same time, just when Narada Muni showed up, they were actually discussing the plan to attack Jarasandha. Because Jarasandha has been giving trouble to Krishna and the inhabitants of Dwarka for a long time. He's been attacking Krishna for 17 times with his vast army. And each time he was defeated. Now they're planning to take the war to his doorstep and defeat him before he comes again. So the Yadavas were not very keen that Krishna go anywhere. They said, we are in the middle of preparing for a war. How can you go anywhere? There's no war without you. There will be no victory. So you have to stay. So Krishna wanted to please both. What shall we do? Actually, in life, very often we find ourselves in such dilemma. I have to do this, and I also have to do this. What shall I do? We become confused. So Krishna showed, he seek the advice of Uddhava. Also to demonstrate the brilliance of Uddhava, how he's very learned, he's very intelligent and very wise. Most of all, he's very wise. Very experienced in the affairs of the state. And he's saying here, yes, you should fulfill the plan for performing the Rajasuya sacrifice and protect the kings. At the same time, you should also satisfy the Yadavas, the attack Jarasandha. And he gave a solution. In Kami, what they call it, one stone hitting two birds. He gave a solution that fulfilled both purposes. This is the intelligence of the Brahmanas, or someone who is very learned, who is very wise. They can give such counsel. This counsel is built from knowledge and also vast experience in life. Very often when we're in a situation, we see things according to our realization. We see things according to our knowledge and experience in life, and sometimes that perception is very narrow. And we think this is the only way to do things. Very often what happens is that if we see someone making trouble, our first reaction is just get rid of him. Isn't it? Just smash, bang, 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 bomb, kick, and he's out. Remove the problem by getting rid of the person. But someone who is in knowledge, who has a bit more wisdom, more experience in life, and might think, wait a minute, let's cool down. He can actually deal with that person in such a way that can be rectified. The problem can be removed, but at the same time that person can also still be engaged or can still be safe. This is what the Mayavadis do. The Mayavadis think this senses is giving me problem. Eyes is too attracted to sense objects. All my senses are attracted to sense objects. So spiritual life means no senses. Cut it out. Get rid of it. But the devotees, with high understanding, they say, no. Senses may be attracted to sense objects, but they're still useful. You can be engaged in Krishna's service. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevana, Bhakti, Vachake. Bhakti means it's defined as engaging the senses in the service of the master of the senses. So you find examples in the Srimad Bhagavatam, different occasions, how some devotees were in a dilemma and they asked for advice. This is the lesson we learn. We should not be adverse to asking advice. We should not feel ourselves in a situation that, I know it all. I don't need anyone's advice. I'll figure out everything. An intelligent person knows what his limits are. And he knows when and where to seek counsel whenever it's needed. So in this way, even though we may not be very intelligent or qualified, but if we know where to seek counsel, we become intelligent, we become qualified. Right? By tapping into the qualification and intelligence of others. That's the point. So, like in the case of when Ashwatam threw his Brahmastra weapon to destroy the womb, the embryo in the womb of Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu, who is the son of Arjuna. And not only that, Abhimanyu and a few others, they cut off the head. They cut off the head of the 5 sons of Draupadi while they were sleeping. So Arjuna went and captured him and brought him back. And Bhima was going to kill him. And initially, Draupadi was also upset, but then she cooled down and said, no, it's actually, as a mother, she felt the pain of his son's death. And they said, why should we cause the same pain to our guru's wife? Because Abhimanyu was their only son of Dronacharya, his wife. So it was a dilemma. On one hand, Bhima wants Abhimanyu to be killed. And on the other hand, Maharishi Disya and Draupadi said, no, we should spare him. So who should Arjuna satisfy? So Krishna was telling Arjuna, say, what are you going to do now? It seems like a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation. If you spare him to please his wife, Draupadi and Yudhishthira, Bhima was not going to be happy. If you kill Abhimanyu, then Draupadi and Yudhishthira are not going to be happy. What kind of solution can come? You can neither kill him nor spare him. So, isn't it sometimes in life we find ourselves in that kind of situation? So Arjuna is very intelligent, inspired by Krishna. He cut off the hair and cut off the jewel, which actually make him look brilliant. And in this way, deprive him of his brilliance and send him away. So in this way, what's his name again? Ashwatam was dead but not dead. And he stated that he's still wandering on this planet, wandering around the earth, suffering the reactions of what he has done. So if we don't have knowledge, how would we come up with such a solution? We would never have thought of such a solution, isn't it? The same thing with one was following Ekadasi for 1 year and invited to Ashram. Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj. He was performing Ekadasi, 1 year Ekadasi, Vrata. He was about to break his fast. And Duvasha Muni came and invited him, yes, please come and take a meal. And Duvasha Muni said, I have to take my bath first. And he went, but it took too long. And was getting worried. What shall I do? I have to break fast at a particular time. So he consulted the Brahmana. He consulted his advisor. What shall I do now? If I break fast now, then Duvasha Muni may be offended that you invite a guest and you eat before the guest. Breach of etiquette. But if I don't break a fast, then I will not be getting the full benefit of my brother. So the Brahmanas came up with a very ingenious solution. He said you drink water. By drinking water, you're breaking fast and not breaking fast. In this way, everyone should be satisfied. Of course, Durvasa Muni came back and he could understand that Ambarish Maharaj has drank some water. And he took offense from that. And he started going to rage and say, how dare you invited the Brahmana for meal and then you eat before, although you didn't eat, he said, but you eat before you are the guest, so you're not qualified as a king, and so on. And he became so angry, he took a hair from his head and threw it on the ground, created a demon to destroy Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was such a great devotee. He did not blush at me. He just stood there, completely surrendered Krishna. As a devotee, Mare Krishna Rakeke, Rake Krishna Marake. If Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can harm you. And Krishna wants to kill you, nobody can protect you. He just stood there, completely surrendered to Krishna, and completely depending on the mercy of Krishna. These are the symptoms of surrender. To always feel the protection of Krishna, to always depend on the mercy of Krishna. So he was exhibiting those qualities, just stood there. And near Sudarshan Chakra came. The heat from Sudarshan Chakra was greater than the heat created by this demon. Immediately the demon recognized and he surrendered to Sudarshan Chakra. The Sudarshan Chakra started chasing Durvasa Muni. He didn't wait around Durvasa Muni, he started flying off. And Sudarshan Chakra was flying after him, right behind his neck. And he could feel the heat. He flew everywhere. He went to Indra, he went to Shiva, and Brahma. None of them want to get involved. He said, that's between you and Ambarish Maharaj and the Lord. We don't want to get involved. He even went to Vaikuntha. And Lord Narayana said, I cannot do anything. You have offended my devotee. So only by taking shelter of the devotee and begging for forgiveness can you be free. So he went all the way to Vaikuntha and went all the way back. And Ambarish Maharaj was still waiting for him. He said, you left so quickly. Where do you go? We're still waiting for you for lunch. 400 feet of Ambarish Maharaj and beg for forgiveness. And what did Ambarish Maharaj do? He said, he prayed to Sudarshan Chakra. He said, whatever austerities I will perform, whatever pious activities I will perform, I bestow all these benefits on this Brahmana. Now please, leave him alone. And Sudarshan Chakra left. To see the greatness of devotee. That's why the devotional service of Ambarish Maharaj is often, example is often used. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. That first of all, Ambarish Maharaj will fix his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. And what's the next line, Mataji? Walking stroke. So, and the mouth, the tongue is always vibrating. He transcends the glories of Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha was Samsi, Anand. The body in touching the body of the devotees, the head in bowing down to the deities, the ears in hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eyes in seeing the deities, the nose in smelling the flowers that are offered to Krishna, the tongue in tasting tulasi, the feet in bringing one to places of pilgrimage. So in this way, Ambarish Maharaj was engaging all of his senses in the service of Krishna. Completely surrendered. Therefore, when one is completely surrendered, then he's also completely under the protection of Krishna. Nobody can harm. Even a great sage like Durvasa Muni could not harm him. This example also shows how powerful the devotees are, how more powerful they are than great yogis and sages, because they have the protection of the most powerful. That's how they become. They're not powerful just on their own, but because they're connected with the source of all power, the powerhouse. That's how devotees are powerful. So therefore devotees, by the mercy of Krishna, they can be brilliant in so many things. They can be so brilliant. So here the Lord will start to begin to give give solutions to the problem, which we will not reveal. We'll let the other speakers reveal the solution later. But you see, the thing here, when Krishna appeared, he may be performing so many pastimes, but he also, at the same time, while performing those pastimes for his enjoyment, he's also setting an example. He's setting an example. Like even when he was a young boy, he went to the Gurukul to show that we have to accept a guru, to learn the transcendental science, to learn so many things. And here, acting as a king, he's seeking the advice of Uddhava. So even Krishna, by his example, is showing that he's not beyond seeking advice in the affairs of state. So this is a very good example to learn, because in life there's so many complications. The more we involve in the material world, the more our life becomes complicated. And therefore we come across many situations where sometimes we just get a bit confused, a bit bewildered. What should I do? How should I act in this situation? Therefore it's very comforting to know, there are senior devotees around, there are more learned devotees around, or more experienced devotees around, who can give me advice, or give me some guidance. Because probably they have gone through that. They have gone through this situation before. So they ask, how do you deal with this situation? How should I deal with that situation? So one should have some humility and be able to seek advice whenever it's needed, and have the humility to accept those advice and apply them in our life. Then it becomes easier. Life becomes simpler when we take those advice. Otherwise, if we try to do it on our own, although in the material sometimes they advertise that, they promote that. Even this famous singer sing a song, I did it my way. and is proud of it. I may have struggled, I may have this, I may have that, so many things gone through, but yet I did it my way. So that's material mentality. I do it my way. Or sometimes people say my way or the highway. But in devotional life, we follow parampara. We follow parampara. Evam parampara patam. So the path of Krishna consciousness is already been set by the previous acharyas, and everyone is following the same path. Many in the Bhagavad Gita, in fact, I think in the 4th chapter, that many sages in the past, by conquering over lust, anger, and greed, and attachment, they have conquered over this and then gone back to God. So it is not. There's no in the Krishna conscious life. There's no there's nothing left to doubt. There's no question marks in anything. There's a solution to everything. Because for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, million years, and so many devotees have traversed this path, and they've all achieved perfection. And basically, material world is basically the same. We may think, in previous time things are different. This time, modern world things are different. Maybe more complicated, but the underlying problems are still the same. We still have to overcome lust, anger, and greed, attachment to the material world, control of the senses and the mind. It doesn't matter we live in the previous time or present time, still have to deal with all these things. Maybe more prominent nowadays, but still it's the same problems are there. It's not that now we have all these problems, and previous time people don't have those problems. In the Bhagavatam we hear, even in the heavenly planet sometimes problems are there. Lust is always there in the mature world. So how do we overcome all these problems? We have to learn and hear from previous acharyas, from the Shastra, what to do. We cannot take the Shastra and say, this sounds too far out, or this don't apply to me. No, there's a reason why it is put there. Why all these lessons are put in the scripture. There's a reason for that. For us to, at least we can think and contemplate about it. Maybe in our present situation we may not be faced with such problem, but eventually somewhere along the line we may face with this problem. And then we equip with the knowledge that, okay, this is how what the Bhagavatam advised. Well, here's an example from the scripture of Maharaj Ambarish, how he dealt with this situation. How Maharaj Yudhishthira deal with that situation. And throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam you'll find that one devotee seeking the counsel and advice of another more senior devotee. Even Maharaj Yudhishthira, after the battle was won, still he was not feeling good that he was installed as king at the expense of so many lives. So he was still lamenting, and even Krishna could not pacify him. Then Krishna took him to see Bhishmadev, and Bhishmadev was lying on a bed of arrows. And this way Krishna get a chance to glorify Bhishmadev when Bhishmadev was giving instructions to Maharaj Yudhishthira, even in that condition. So Maharaj Yudhishthira is a cousin of Krishna, yet he couldn't seek advice from Bhishmadev. He says the whole Bhagavatam, Sutta goes, the sages Naimishranya, they are asking questions from Sutta Goswami. Maharaj Parishad is asking questions from Shukadev Goswami. And was it Uddhava was asking questions to Maitreya Rishi. So it's all questions answered. Vidura. Questions and answers. One person asking questions. You have any doubts, any thing you ask, and then answer was given. So this is the culture. This is the Vaishnava culture. So here Krishna is no different. Although he is acting as a king, he was put in a seemingly dilemma. What shall I do? And he seeks the counsel of Uddhava. He said, now Uddhava, you please advise, tell us what to do. How can I satisfy both sides at the same time? So are there any comments or questions?
He explained before how important the Brahmins are in society, like the brain and the body. So in today's society, where no one's following Varnashram, but only within this kind of week, the Prabhupada wanted to become Brahmins. So are we still affecting the rest of society from how we act?
Yes, dear?
Are we still having an effect on the rest of society and how we behave? Like if we
definitely.
We should be following the Brahminical standards. So if we follow that, is that going to uplift the rest of society even though they're not following?
Oh, definitely. Maybe at the present time, maybe not in the very vast effect, huge effect, but definitely the effect is there. As the society train out more and more Brahmanas or the devotees become more and more Brahmanically qualified by their examples, by their knowledge, experience, they can guide. At least guide those who come. Maybe we'll not be affecting outside as much as we would like to, but people are coming to the temple, people are coming into contact with the Krishna conscious movement, and they're getting guidance. And just like here, we have so many courses Bhakti Risha course is going on, Bhakti Vaibhava course is going on, different seminars are going on, and people are attending, and they're learning. Isn't that one of the duties of the Brahmanas, to study the Shastra, to teach the Shastra, to worship the deities and teach others how to worship deities, accept donation and giving donation. So it's going on, but we just have to expand it more and more. And in Mayapur also they're setting up academies. Vrindavan, they started the VIAC, training devotees in different aspects of the philosophy. And nowadays not only in the philosophy but different aspects of devotional activities. Mayapur is the same thing. Mayapur have MIAC, Mayapur Institute of Higher Education. So this gradually, all these establishments are been set up. And pujaris have been trained. They have deity worship seminars. So pujaris can go there. And now the Shinga Kawachapu is setting up like an institute where they actually give certificate to Brahmanas to go through this course. So gradually all these are been set up. Then they go back to their various countries and teach it to the locals. So, and we also see like some devotees are very expert in different fields. Like we have Banu Maharaj, very very learned in so many different fields of knowledge. He's an amazing person. You can approach him and he can, from different shastra, can give knowledge from there. So the resources are there. So gradually just building up more and more and more. In the early days, we didn't know very much. Most of the devotees, they didn't even know Prabhupada's books. In the early days, they thought the books are only for distribution. I remember someone telling me, the German devotees, they came to see Prabhupada in London. I think it was not the last time Prabhupada went to London, just before that, I think. And they stormed, German, stomping into the room. I thought, now Prabhupada will say something, that wow, you're teaching so many books, it's very nice, and all this. And then Prabhupada just asked them, do you know any sloka? And the German devotee was completely stunned by that. What do you mean? Asking me sloka? A book distributors. Why they ask about sloka? And then someone finally said, Savadaman Parajaya Mamekam Shana Raja. Then Prabhupada impressed upon them. You have to read my books. You have to study them. You have to know the books. It's not just for distribution. And Prabhupada often lament that they think I wrote these books only for distribution. Actually, I wrote these books for my devotees, not my disciples. First and foremost, we have to know the books. Then we can teach. And the more we know, and by practicing Krishna consciousness, we gain not only just knowledge, but also realization, gain experiences, and we can teach. This answer the question. And as our society grows, and as our society matures, our influence will be felt more and more. After all, we've been just 40 years. For any society, 40 years is not a very long time. The church took how many hundreds of years to establish itself? So we are just, So we are just 40 years old. Like they say, life begins at 40. So life is really beginning in this kind of process. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.